Hold on.
Calmigo if you have anxiety, because it is very effective and I love using it. I was waiting at...
Okay, that's what I needed. Nice, loud. Okay, I guess we can edit this in post. Make the beginning more like now. Hello, YouTube. That's you. Oh, Brady. Welcome back. I have been going through a rough week. And I do not really want to talk about it, but I will describe, for good reasons, related topics. Now, privacy is something that is not, you don't compromise with that. It's absolutely essential for a healthy life. It's very damaging to the mental state because people can sense that. You know when you're being looked at from behind, right? You can feel that, and it gets amplified when there's additional folks doing that. And so today with technology the way it is, it's become pretty easy to gang spy on people, and now with all the smart devices like mirrors and just all kind, I've seen a smart toaster, like everything's gonna be spying on us, and everything really kind of is spying on us. The TV apparently is looking at you also, and this has become concerning to me. This has become a hazard, a health hazard, and it's very damaging mentally. It's not healthy at all, and but the Higher Self channel, I recommend you subscribe to that, and I also recommend on that channel mostly focusing on the electronic voice videos. The Higher Self channel told me that we were going to be having telepathy shortly, and I thought that was kind of too good to be true, or just too hard to believe to be true when I first heard it. But everything on the Higher Self channel has actually happened. Like it's pretty alarming, or not alarming, surprising how accurate it has been as long as I've been following it. So I'm pretty sure that I'm somewhat telepathic now, and I am pretty sure that I'm not the only one, and that lends a lot of credibility to the idea that we're in a new age now. The Mayan calendar 2012 thing was accurate, but there was a 7-year overlap period between the two ages where like harvest was happening, like the harvest, where the wheat and the chaff are going to be separated, and where the rapture was supposed to happen. But the rapture was, it believed it to be something like people just vanishing. But I think that what is known as the Mandela effect is showing us how the rapture and the harvest is taking place. It's having people wind up on different timelines that are real for them, but not like other people in their life aren't necessarily those people anymore. For example, my oldest sister, soon after the Mandela effect was being noticed by myself, my oldest sister seemed nothing like herself anymore. She was, she seemed like a computer program to me. It seemed like artificial intelligence, and she was not saying things that made any sense to me because it wasn't like the open-minded, just didn't have the same spirit my sister had at all. It was very rigid, close-minded, and just this computer-like. If you've ever spoken to the AOL Instant Messenger bot called Smarter Child, that's what it reminded me of somewhat, just more advanced. So I made a video called "Where Is My Sister?" and it was on my last channel that mysteriously got deleted recently. But in that video, I was describing that and how I couldn't believe it was her anymore, and she had just moved down to Southern California, and so that I think that's also something that would take place when people that are in your life are no longer going to be them anymore. Like it just turns into, we're moving, and then now we're only going to communicate digitally, and it's going to be not real. That's what it seemed like to me anyway. And I'm starting to think that I was right. My intuition usually is pretty good. It doesn't really lead me astray that often. And so each one of us has our own universe, I guess, like our own timeline. We are all aspects, or all the one. All is one, one is all, kind of thing. It's we all are the universe, right? And we're all in the universe, but we have our own paths. Now, the infinity that we are, that we're in, it consists of every possibility that ever could happen, any choice you could potentially make does exist in this infinity, and we are, and our souls are like a boat on this ocean of infinite probability, and the time is like wind that's pushing the boat along, and then our choices are like the rudder. And so we're all these things in the future, in the past, and in any probable outcomes all exist already, kind of like, you get it. And that is basically the simulation, I guess, or just God. It's God. It's just, anyway, and we are traveling through this with our choices. So our choices are the most important part of our life. I mean, the experience is important, but it's important because it's supposed to be, teaching us stuff that's supposed to improve our choices and our basically our mentality, our mindset, our moral compass. It is getting gently eased in the direction of more loving and more godlike. And so that's the path that we're all on. We're all on the same path towards being more godlike, more loving. And we're all on different points along this path, but we're all going the same place. Now, certain things that we are going to be needing to work on, we actually plan for before our incarnation. We choose to come here, and we plan out our life like the things that we need to work on are the things that are going to be the most challenging parts of our life, the things that keep getting thrown at us that we need to deal with, the obstacles in our way, the hardships, the things that make life difficult. Those are the things that we actually chose to put in our life on purpose so that we could finally learn how to deal with those things. And so that the good thing is that sounds kind of like torture, but once you finally learn that, there's no need to have to relearn that again. And so those obstacles, those hardships, those burdens, they go away. Okay, and so lifetime after lifetime, we're fine-tuning our moral compass, and we are getting, becoming God. Okay, but we already are gods, we just don't know it. Like, obviously we are, because isn't it obvious? I mean, if we're not, who is? Like, is it really supposed to be like somebody on some silver surfboard just like cruising the sky in some weird, superhero costume, like, and he's God? Like, no, it's kind of silly. But I guess maybe there's some craft that is similar, maybe. But that's us, and we actually can build those craft, and we can be like the silver surfer in the sky if that's what we wanted to do. But that is us. And so the whole universe, this whole thing was made for us and our experiences. So that should make all of us feel very blessed and special, right? To be here and to be doing this, because this is why all this was made, for us, for our lives and our experiences. It's okay to feel, if you feel special there, because we kind of are. It is important. It is meaningful. It does matter. It's and it is a blessing. We tend to spend a whole lot of time and energy and waste all that time and energy focusing on king of the hill type activities or warfare type activities like jealousy and envy and hatred type conflicts, just conflict. That's not what we're here for. That's not productive. That's not helping anything at all. There are no winners and losers here. We're all winners because we are here. The meaning of life is essentially that we are alive, and we should take advantage of that, not in a way that's like taking advantage of other people, or trying to manipulate things into your favor. But even people have that mindset too. But a better mindset would be to treat everybody the way you would want to be treated. Because why is it such a bad idea to want to do the right thing? I don't think anybody needs to be pressured or intimidated into doing the right thing, because I'm pretty sure everybody should want to do the right thing all by themselves. It blows my mind. It's difficult to conceive of why anybody would basically try to go to hell. That doesn't make any sense. You definitely want to live your life as though you want to be proud of it when you see the replay when you die. There's a life review when you die, and you don't want to see a bunch of stuff that's going to make you ashamed of yourself. And we all are going to see some of those things, because we all do those things. And it's not something we have to feel too bad about, because we have to do those things before we learn that that's not cool. But as long as you're making some progress along the way, that's all that's asked of us. We don't need to be perfect. We don't need to be absolutely flawless and impeccable or anything like that. Like, we don't even need to be foregoing earthly pleasures. Like, we are we're along with being expected to do some growth, some soul growth, we're also expected to enjoy this. God definitely wanted us to enjoy our life. Think about laughter. Like, have you ever seen a turtle laugh, or a frog laughing? And sex. That it's not that every boner you have needs to produce a baby, or you're a sinner and you're going to hell. That's not at all the right way to look at it. It's sexual activity, even if it's alone, is not as bad as people think it is. It's just not. And if people were expecting somebody to return and say, hey, all that masturbating, you're a naughty person, you're going to hell, I'm going to spank you, like, that's gone. Obviously, it would be way more compassionate if somebody came back and said, you know what, maybe the Bible had that part a little wrong, because that's not really a big deal. That's not hurting anybody. Like, and everybody does it anyway. So let's just grade on a curve there. And even if it was a problem, let's make it not a problem anymore, because everybody does it anyway. Let's just grade that one on a curve. So we don't need to be all that competitive amongst each other. If you want to compete against your own track record, your own history, and aim for at least a little bit of progress along the way. You always want to, aim for something. Because if you don't aim at something, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time, right? So I'm gonna do something for you that was done to me. I tried to do this in my last video, but the sound was non-existent. So clear your mind and listen to this music here in the background, if you can hear it. try to, let the mood and the vibration of that sound kind of permeate you a bit. Okay. Now, let that ride. Now, I don't know what the hell that is. And I don't know if it's gonna do anything at all. But that's what somebody did to me when my whole life started getting a lot more fulfilling to me, a lot more. It made when it started making a lot more sense to me, and when things just improved a lot for me. So I hope I'm able to give a little bit of that to you as well. But oddly enough, the guy's name that did that was actually, I'm not gonna say it because I don't want people bothering that guy. But he had a pretty spiritual nickname, which was interesting, and he was definitely a spiritual guy, and I'm grateful for having met him, and I feel ashamed of losing contact with him and not being a better friend to him. I'm a very private person, I guess. I enjoy spending my time alone more so than with people because I don't really know why. It's just I feel more comfortable by myself, and I can even like have a relatively good time just like without a TV, without music or anything, just thinking, just in my head. I can work out like stuff, explore ideas, and try to solve like mysteries and stuff, and try to work stuff out. Like I can be laying down with my eyes closed, look like I'm asleep, and be doing some productive work. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what happened when I was when I figured out the dark energy mystery. I was just doing some scientific thought experiments in my head and thinking about the problem. It just hit me what the problem was, and so yeah, I can do pretty, and everybody, of course, can do meaningful, productive work all in our head. So don't let people, society, try to tell you that the only kind of important thing is labor, stress, and anxiety-filled bullshit. Like I am saddened by the idea, or the fact, really, that everybody is pretty much required to be working 40 hours a week in a job that they almost certainly hate for the vast majority of their life, in exchange for a place to sleep and store their shit and food to eat. That is so shameful in the way I view it to our kind, our species. We can do better than that. We can treat each other better than that, and we don't deserve to be turned into debt slaves like that. That's wrong. And it's not that having a good work ethic is not valuable. Of course it is. It's just that it's just kind of unreasonable how a place to sleep. I explained that. That's not a place to sleep and store your shit and food to eat should be taken for granted. You shouldn't take anything for granted, but those things are things that should be. They're essential. They should be rights, basically. They shouldn't be things that people have to bust their ass the vast majority of their time in life for. I totally disagree with that, and I really hope that that improves a lot, because I find that really unacceptable. I also, like, I don't understand why we can't all just be building our own place to live. Why is that so frowned upon? Like, we can have tent cities, but we can't just, like, over time turn those little tent city plots into, like, a more solid structure, and and just build our own homes. Like, is that really so inconceivable? And then there's just a lot of things that I think are not healthy about the way society is currently. Like, how the bigger a community gets, the less community there seems to be. It's like the community's gotten so large that it becomes everybody's fending for themselves. Nobody's, like, in family units anymore. It's the mom and the dad are both working full time, and so nobody's getting dinner when they get home. The housework is being undone. It's just things are getting worse than they were in the 50s, and we shouldn't be seeing that degradation when we're having improvement in pretty much all other areas. So a lot of people seem to be really bent out of shape about something that I think about myself, or or the blood type situation and all the implications there, and I'm being treated as though I am the primary cause and reason for all the implications of such a thing. And I kind of assumed it was like a firecracker, or a combustible issue. But I had no idea it was going to be as destructive as it has been. I don't know if I did the right thing there by bringing it up at all. However, it just seems to me that if you got into a car accident or something and you went to the hospital and you were in some, like, really small town and they had, like, really few resources, and they're like, oh, we don't have any blood. We need to give you transfusion, and then something came through, and they said, oh, great, we got a blood donor for you, and you wouldn't believe it. We got our Lord and Savior's very own blood to transfuse you with. And would you expect that blood to kill you? Would your Lord and Savior's blood be lethal to you? Is that it's just intuitively obvious that blood would not kill you, no matter who you were. And so the only blood that you could say that about is negative. And so and so also the fact that everybody is compatible with that implies that it was likely the most fundamental, the original. If any of them were original, it was that one, because they're all it's like the baseline for all those other ones. It's kind of like maybe the firstborn of all those other ones, like the seedling that's spawned the rest. So if it's not that Jesus was God's son, and everybody else was just a miserable pile of shit, a steaming pile of shit, but that was God's son, and you are just a worthless sack of dung. That's not how it is at all. Everybody is God's children, but that guy was most. The best way to look at it is he was a firstborn, like a big brother, the executor of the estate, the one, it's and the firstborn is always expected to look after the siblings and after their well-being, and even fill in as a parental role if need be, So that's what that guy would basically represent, more so than being any more God than anybody else. We're all God. God wanted to have the experiences that we are having. So this is what God wanted to do. What we are doing is what God wanted to do. God wanted these experiences we're having. So why not let God have a good time? Why not? Do you want God to be sad and jealous and just bickering and at war all the time, or do you want God to be grateful, blessed, and happy to be alive? Because your attitude and and the way you feel about stuff, that is a choice. You are choosing to be all that negative or all that grateful and happy. You don't really need to have material stuff for you to be happy. Happiness doesn't come from anything outside of you. Everything that you ever wanted is actually right within you. It's, you could take two different people and put them through the exact same experience, and that experience will be dramatically different depending on the attitude of the person experiencing it. So it's really, really quite important to try to make more positive adjustments to your attitude, your mindset, and your outlook, with the aims of being more positive and with the aim of being more correct. It's better to be right and kind of sad about that than to be wrong or lied to and happy about it. But really, it's not. There's no reason to be sad about being right. It's just face the facts of life, and don't be so depressed and depressing about stuff that nobody can do anything about. Try not to blame other people for things that they're not responsible for anyway, and things that are troubling you. Like you want to derive your self-worth from within, from your own respect for yourself. You wouldn't be demanding other people's respect, feeling like you have to, if you just had your own respect for yourself. That's all you need. Then you don't have to worry about what anybody else thinks at all, because it really doesn't matter. It's not. They're not you, and you don't have to have any kind of emotional link to anybody else if you need that. Everybody is perfectly capable of being self-sufficient in their, not just in their material life, which is what most people view it as materially self-sufficient, but also you can be self-sufficient with your emotional life. You don't need to be feeding off of other people's respect levels for you, or other people's fear of you, or other people's sexual energies. That's not necessary, but it's a trap that a lot of people get into and feel like that is what life is that spin cycle, I guess we'll call it, for lack of a better term, is what becomes the all-important, all-encompassing factor and event in one's life, and they're failing to see all of the beautiful other shit around. They got these blinders on, and they're just worried about a particular situation that they're having some drama in regards to, and they're blind to all the other possibilities that life could offer. And it's a good idea to view your life as a blessing, because it definitely is one. If you go to Yosemite National Park and spend a couple weeks there, or even just a day there, you can see very easily how much God wanted us to enjoy our life, and how much life is supposed to be a blessing for us. Like in these concrete jungles, we are basically cut off from what God really made for us. We made this little phony concrete jungle island where we're all cut off from Mother Nature altogether, and we don't understand why we're so unhappy and so unfulfilled and so cut off from the source, that we just feel something missing and we're mad about it, right? It's important to kind of get the hell out of these concrete jungles every once in a while and understand that this is more than that. We don't have to. It's basically like we're kind of imprisoned and entombed in this web of just a bunch of king of the hill type activity and greed, competition, and keeping up with the Joneses type stuff. Everybody's measuring their dicks with others, and it's just it's just not healthy. So there's a lot of improvement that could be made to our lifestyle and our way of life, and so that's the kind of stuff that I would really expect and hope to to see change in the golden age that I am convinced has begun already. We just got there, so there's a whole bunch of residual from the last age, but the transition and how quick that transition will be is going to be up to us, and how quick our transition into a more positive mindset is going to be. And so the Great Awakening is definitely a thing. I know I've experienced it, and and we're all in a hive mind. All of our consciousnesses are linked in what's known as a hive mind, and so we're all going to reach a critical mass, I guess, where it'll all just flip, like it's like one light turning on here and there all over the world. But then when there's enough, it's all just gonna just fly open, and people are gonna go and snap and be in like a whole different mindset, a whole different reality, a whole different, and it's gonna be a lot less stressful, I would assume, a lot. But of course, there's always going to be problems. You can't expect things to be just perfect forever. But when you do have those moments of what feels like perfection, cherish those, and to take time to stop and smell those roses, because those are blessings that we really should be grateful for. So what I believe the motto of the Golden Age should be is, as long as you mean well, feel free to enjoy yourself. Because I think the hedonistic type activity is going to have to be okay. It's going to have to be acceptable. Because how could it be a golden age if people are just miserable and just punishing themselves and torturing themselves into all these austerities in their satisfaction and enjoyment for life? Like it's okay to do certain things that people typically view as like, naughty. But there's more profound things than that, of course. Like, I've been accused of having everything that I want, right at my bed, because I'm such a lonely but happy to be chronic masturbator, tweaker that's just getting high all day and watching porn all the time. So I can totally see where that would make sense, like I can see where that mindset is coming from, and how it has its point and everything. I just I don't think it's all that bad. As long as you're not hurting anybody and you mean well, don't be guilty or ashamed of whatever it takes to be able to enjoy your life. Basically, if I was feeling like if things aren't going to just get better, then then fuck it, I'll make damn sure that I feel better now. Because I'm not just going to hold my breath and wait for things to get better. It felt like it was taking forever. But I finally do see, I believe, light at the end of the tunnel. I do see potential for our society to have some real change in my lifetime. And but until that actually arrives, I'm going to continue to make damn sure I'm going to feel better, because I refuse to be miserable in my life. I don't want to be all stressed out and ashamed of myself, and feel worthless and just all bitter and torn down and everything. I got to make sure I am enjoying this life, because your body knows how you feel. But when you are depressed and miserable and feeling worthless and stuff, your body basically starts to die. Like your body is like listening to you. Like you are the one that is commanding your body. You're the captain of the ship, right? And if you are a lousy captain, that ship is going to sink like a stone eventually, right? So be a good steward of your life and make sure your ship is in ship shape, and because your body is listening to how you feel about it. And if you're insulting and your body by saying how much you're miserable, you don't like certain things about your body, or you're just really negatively, you're not liking it stuff, your body's going to listen to that, and it will start to deteriorate and die. So I do, I also think that aging is kind of a choice in that respect. Celebrating your birthday is also likely not good. Like keeping track of how many years old you are, and how old other people are, or like people that are the same age as you, and what they look like, and how much progress they've made in their life, and trying to stack your own life up in comparison to other people in your age group. That, I believe, is what is causing the aging to be as universal as it currently is. If we weren't even thinking about how old we are, and we weren't even trying to keep up with the Joneses, or trying to, stay at the same level with our peers in our age group, then I believe the aging thing would be much less pronounced. I don't think in the Bible, when it talks about with people like Methuselah living damn near 1,000 years, I do not think that was a lie or made up or something like that. I take that as true. I think we can live much, much longer than we do if we changed our mindset, our outlook, and the way that we're competing with each other and stuff. It's with faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains, right? That's what it says. Well, your faith that you will grow old and die, and you will look like that at that age, and those things are all contributing to the aging. Now, is it reversible? Could be, but it's certainly slow downable. Like I'm 34, and there's a YouTuber named Vsauce that you can, pretty popular one. He's my same age. That guy obviously is aging more like the way the average. Actually, he's aging kind of worse than average, but I think it's kind of obvious that there's variability in the aging amount based off mindset, because my mindset still believes I'm 15, and so my body is just not, and I'm also not giving a shit about keeping up with people in my peer groups, life benchmarks. I'm not caring about that at all, and so I do believe that mindset that I have that's different than the vast majority's is likely contributing to the fact that I seem not to age a whole bunch. And of course, everybody should like for that to also be the case for them, and so that's why I am offering this advice to be of some sort of service, not anything to be upset about. Alright, so this has already gone on for an hour, but let's do the whole gesture that may or may not mean anything at all one more time. Let that ride.